From the Detroit Free Press in the heart of the Motor City, it's Monday, September 9th. Here are today's top stories.
This is Jennifer Dixon for the Detroit Free Press. Businessman Dan Gilbert has big plans for some prime real estate in downtown Detroit. But those plans are stalled, and here's why. His company, Bedrock, needs bank loans to build that skyscraper where the Hudson's department store once sat. And Bedrock needs bank loans for the 5 buildings Gilbert has in mind for the Monroe block. But bankers are wary about lending in Detroit, especially on speculative real estate projects. So Bedrock hasn't been able to nail down those needed loans. What's going to happen to those 2 projects? Bedrock is pushing ahead with his plans for Hudson's, but the project won't be as costly as first thought. And it's redesigning the Monroe block. Who's to blame for all of this? The state and the city didn't demand Bedrock reveal its financing when they decided to bless those projects with economic incentives.
This is J.C. Rindo for the Detroit Free Press. Some of the vacant or underutilized properties along Woodward in Midtown Detroit are finally getting developed. There are numerous projects in the works for new hotels, apartments, retail, offices, even a movie theater. Midtown's unofficial mayor, Sue Mosey, says these development gaps persisted for so long because the properties are big, and to get filled, they need big projects. Nearly all of them are taking longer than first expected to get built, but Mosey thinks they'll eventually get done. She is especially excited for the new hotels, as Midtown doesn't have that many. The movie theater could be called Alamo Drafthouse Cinema and could be ready by 2021.
I'm John Wisely, education reporter at the Detroit Free Press. Michigan students who flunked the state reading test could be forced to repeat the 3rd grade. That's the upshot of a new law designed to improve literacy. State test scores, released last month, show that 55% of Michigan 3rd graders can't read proficiently. Proponents of the law say it's a form of tough love. Hold back the students until they learn. Most educators disagree. They say there are other ways to improve literacy, ways that don't require a student to repeat an entire school year. They suggest things like better teacher training, special reading coaches, and more help for students who struggle. They say they are doing all of those things and more to limit the number of students who get held back.
This is Detroit Free Press auto critic Mark Phelan. New car season kicks off in Europe this week at the Frankfurt Auto Show. Stop me if you've heard this before. Most of the attention is going to be on electric cars and SUVs. Frankfurt is a huge show spread out over more than 10 buildings on a site the size of some state fairs. It's where German automakers haul out their best technologies and newest vehicles to wow the world. The biggest news this year may be Porsche's Taycan, an attempt to create the ideal formula for an electric sports car. The Taycan is unmistakably a Porsche. It has up to 750 horsepower and a top speed of 162 miles an hour. You may have heard people pronounce the made-up name Taycan, but it's Porsche's car, and Porsche says Taycan. Other electric vehicles at the show will include a concept for a luxury sedan from Mercedes-Benz and small electric cars from Volkswagen and Honda. High-profile SUVs debuting include the revival of Land Rover's iconic Defender model and a sporty new X6 from BMW.
This is Free Press Sports Editor Chris Thomas, and here's what you need to know about the Lions' disappointing tie to the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday. The Lions and Cardinals finished overtime tied at 27 in a game that felt like a loss to Lions fans, but a win to the Cardinals. The good, Matthew Stafford passed for nearly 400 yards, and T.J. Hawkinson set an NFL record in his debut. The bad, the Lions blew an 18-point lead in the fourth quarter, and the coaching staff nixed what would have been a game-sealing first down by calling timeout late in the game. Yep, it was one of those days for the Lions. A Sunday opener that had a little bit of everything, from history to misery, and an uneasy feeling at the start of another Lions season.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com. And sign up for the daily briefing newsletter. See you tomorrow.